Hi, this is the video on how to use the carrier, the Stache Convertible, in an Onbu mode. So this is starting as an Onbu, and I'm going to show you two different methods. So the first one I'm going to show you when I'm doing a front carry, and it actually starts with the carrier all done up. So the strap webbing is buckled into the waist webbing, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it around the baby. This is my handy dandy demo baby. And I'm also going to actually place his legs through the carrier before putting myself on. So the carrier is now on him, and my arm goes through the same hole as his leg. Just inside. Okay. I'm now going to make sure that there's fabric between him and I, and it's very similar to the apron style that I would have in a full buckle, but instead it doesn't go around my waist and it straps straight into the shoulders. I'm going to do up the chest clip at the back of my neck, and after that I'm going to tighten the webbing for a comfortable, high and firm but not too tight carry. So when you're using an Onbu, you do need to make sure that the carrier goes from one knee to the other, and that the carrier goes at least up to the point where their shoulders meet their torso, so just this armpit area here. However, you don't want it to go much higher than about the nape of their neck, and the reason for that is because it doesn't sit like an SSC, and it isn't meant to sit too high because there's actually nothing stopping them from falling out the side. So if their arms can't get out comfortably, then there is also the risk that they could fall out the sides. In the case that they do actually choose to keep their arms in, that's totally fine, but as long as the carrier is actually sized so that they can comfortably take their arms out if they choose. So this is how you do it in the front carry, well, in that particular method, and I've also shown you a front carry, but now I'm going to show you a back carry, and I'm going to do a different method on getting baby up. So firstly, I'm just going to get Bub down, and he is going to wait patiently for me in the grass. Thank you, buddy. Now I'm actually going to have everything undone this time, and I'm going to show you a back carry. So take note that the perfect fit adjusters are completely undone, and I'm undoing all of the buckles so everything is completely open. I'm now going to grab baby, and I'm going to actually put him with the carrier at the back of his armpits right there, and I'm going to use the Superman method and get him up on my back. Now at this point I'm going to secure the straps because it does pin him to my body, and I'm going to reach behind me and find bits of the panel. Now, I'm going to actually be placing fabric between us again, like it was in apron mode. Apron style in the full buckle mode. But, of course, again, instead of connecting the waist pieces together, I'm going to be connecting them to the straps. I'm going to tighten, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do up the chest clip and make sure that it does hold the carrier quite comfortably. I'm going to adjust down, adjust up, and the very last thing I'm going to adjust is these perfect fit adjusters. Now I can fairly easily reach behind me and grab the D-rings, and I'm just going to give a little bounce every time that I'm pulling on them to make the carry quite comfortable. Now at the moment what you should be able to see is that it's a very high carry. His shoulders are roughly at the same height as mine, and that makes for a really, really comfortable carry, because it keeps the weight of him both close to my center of gravity and also quite high. Yes, Baba. Now I will just give you a tip about keeping everything really, really comfortable. So the first thing is about the chest clip. Now some people do find that the chest clip can ride quite high, sitting closer to their throat, and obviously that is quite uncomfortable for that to happen. Now, if you're finding that's the case, I would recommend first undoing the perfect fit, and all you need to do is just release that tension under that ladder lock, and the weight of the baby will do the rest for you. And also just undoing the buckles of the carrier slightly. Now, at that point, you might find that the chest clip could be moved lower by undoing a bit through the tri-slides, moving it down, tightening back up again. You also do need to make sure that there is the right amount of tension on the chest clip. If it's too loose or too tight, then it could cause that riding up. Now, if you're finding that your carrier is too low, what you really want to do is bounce baby quite high, and I like to lean forward to do that because it takes the pressure off the carrier, and it does mean that you can adjust without having to take that weight into account. Now, like I said before, I always adjust down first, up second, and the very last thing that I do is to bounce and adjust the perfect fit. Now, the reason for that is because the very last thing I want to do is to pull their shoulders closer to me. If I do that before I tighten anything else, then what I'm going to find is that they're already quite tight to me, and then it's even harder to get them nice and high. So that is the last thing I do, and it just makes for a really, really comfortable Onbu carry. So, happy Onbu wearing, and happy Stache